Super Draco here, and we're back for part 2 of episode 3 of Why, the show where I don't always have an answer to that question. So we're going to be finishing up Endgame in this video, and then as we did last time, let's talk about the latest episode of the Battlebots tournament. So first and foremost, I've got my predictions from the last episode, and I predicted Hydra would quickly beat Defender, and while it wasn't quickly, I was right. Hydra did win. I picked Black Dragon to defeat Mad Catter, and I was right about that. I picked Ribot with its Undercutter to beat Hydra, and I was wrong. Surprisingly, that was a really good fight. And I think Ribot could have won had they not driven up on Hydra after tearing the front of their arm off and allowing the arm to continue launching. Blip versus Valkyrie, I predicted Blip would win, and I was right for the dumbest reason possible, because the little eyes on Blip made me laugh. Jackpot versus Tombstone, I picked Jackpot, and Jackpot managed to upset Tombstone. It was another good fight, but Tombstone continued having drive problems. I believe it was the left wheel of the robot died again after a major hit. See, Whiplash versus Ice Wave. I was wishy-washy about that. I think I actually gave it to Ice Wave if they were actually working properly, but so I'm going to say I take the L on that one and say I was wrong. Whiplash did win. Yeti versus Cobalt, I picked Cobalt and I was right. Rotator versus Shredderator, they didn't air that one. I believe it was on YouTube, and I picked Rotator. Now, if you actually look at the YouTube video and look at the aftermath, Rotator actually broke Shredderator's shell. They ripped the teeth off of it and cracked it open. And for a full body spinner like Shredderator, that's an impressive feat. And then in Tantrum versus Gigabyte, I picked Tantrum, and Tantrum did win. Now, Tantrum versus Gigabyte was an interesting fight because Gigabyte did something, you don't normally see a full body spinner do. They added an attachment to their robot, and it actually kind of worked. There was also an excellent moment where somehow Gigabyte ended up on the Gigabyte ended up on the upper deck, used that to spin up to full speed, and then came down right on top of Tantrum. But in the end, Tantrum's design was just too solid, and they outlasted Gigabyte. And apologies about the sniffling, it's allergy season where I am. So, anyhow, of my picks, I got 2 wrong and 6 right, so I'm pretty happy about that. So let's move on and talk about my predictions for the quarterfinals of the tournament. First up, we have Endgame versus Minotaur. This whole match is going to hinge on Minotaur and how well it's functioning. It's been functioning excellently this season, but I still got to give it to the current champ Endgame. Next fight is Copperhead versus Witch Doctor. It's very much similar but different because it all hinges on how well Copperhead's working and how well Witch Doctor is working. Both have had reliability issues. However, Copperhead's this season I don't think has been in his weapon. So, on that ground alone, I'm going to give it to Copperhead. Then the next fight will be Sawblaze versus P1. I'm giving it to Sawblaze hands down. P1's a hinge lifter with a wedge, and Sawblaze is a dustpan with a hammer saw. Weapon advantage, low ground advantage. P1 could surprise me, but I'm still giving it to Sawblaze. Then Uppercut versus Riptide. You got two high energy vertical spinners, but I gotta pick Uppercut. He's just been that destructive and that deadly in the last couple tournaments. Then after that, we have Hydra versus Black Dragon. My Ribot prediction was entirely wrong with the undercut, but I'm still going to give it to Black Dragon because every time Hydra's been up against like Endgame and some of the other vertical spinners, he hasn't fared very well. But Hydra might surprise me because his flip, it's a good robot. I can hate the Ewert family, and I can hate the guy that runs Hydra, but it's a solid, excellently designed robot, but just based on history, I lean on giving the advantage to Black Dragon. Blip versus Jackpot. It's hard for me to, this is another hard one to articulate why I feel this way, but I'm going to go with, I think Blip's going to win. I think Blip has the low ground advantage, and their design is going to make it hard for Jackpot to get a good hit on him. So then Whiplash versus Cobalt. It gives me pain to pick Whiplash over Cobalt, but it's the best driver in Battlebots against a team that is still getting used to driving Cobalt. As the guy operating Cobalt, I believe he normally operates control bots. Now, in the grand scheme, that may give him an advantage going into this battle against Whiplash, but the driver of Whiplash, he's actually been focused, he's been intelligent, and I'm not seeing any of the hints of the last few years where he wasn't taking the fight seriously. So maybe he finally grew out of that ego phase. Because like I said, it's always been my opinion, he had 2 tournaments he could have won if he had come in there 100% focused and not taking it easy. And then the final quarterfinal will be Rotator versus Tantrum. And this is another tough fight because both robots have been working extremely well. Both robots have been extremely resilient, but I'm going to pick Tantrum, and the logic on this goes back to the last tournament. Tantrum lost a fight to Valkyrie, not because of damage or the fight, but because their batteries died. They literally ran out of power in the middle of the box, and that was the only reason Valkyrie beat him. And in its standard configuration, Rotator is a primary undercutter, just like Valkyrie. Now, Rotator spins up faster and has generally had a much more reliable setup than Valkyrie. But given that how Tantrum has been performing this year on top of its history, I just actually see it upsetting Rotator. And if I take the L on it, I take the L because my prediction for the final already blew up when Ribot lost to Hydra. Because I'm still predicting Sawblade, or no, wait, I predicted Endgame in Ribot, didn't I? So I honestly don't have a prediction at this point. Because with Hydra upsetting my picks, I really don't know how the other side of the tournament's going to go. Alright, now that that's out of the way, channel views have actually gone down a little bit. They've been coming up lately. Haven't had any new subscribers since the last video. That's okay. Like I said, this is a hobby. So, I'm having fun making these videos, and as long as it's fun, I'm going to keep doing it. And then, as I said, monetize. If I ever get monetized, it's just going to be to subsidize the channel. Never anything more, never anything less. So I think what I might have to look into is ways of getting people to look into actually looking at the whole videos and not just my preview shorts. Even though I honestly think the preview shorts, some of them I think are hilarious, some of them I think are just me not being able to think of an idea on the fly, and some of them are just random nonsense, which is the best kind of nonsense in my opinion. Alright, my voice is, I'm losing my voice way earlier than I did last time, but with my allergies acting up, I'm not gonna talk near as much. Now, I did make a mistake in this build. I put the mounts for the weapon support on backwards. I did fix that. There's a short showing that I fixed it. Other than that, I'm still looking for suggestions for for more episodes of Why. Because there is the Vex build your own bite force with remote control. And I may get that just to complete the set. I'm eyeballing some Gundam kits. I still need to finish my resin, Mercurius, and Bay 8, which I've actually got some material filmed for that, but since I don't have the parts yet to finish the Mercurius, I've held off on making videos about the Bay 8. I mean, if you guys want to see the Bay 8 stuff before I finish Mercurius, just give me some comments or something, or email me. Beyond that, I talked about it last time, and I'm going to mention it again. The first subscriber contest will take place when I hit 50 subs. Prize is still to be determined. I think I hadn't decided on a prize yet, but I'm going to do that at 50 subs. Well, I shouldn't say contest or prize, it's a giveaway. For legal reasons, it's a giveaway. But that aside, I think that's all I've really got to talk about. And I get all schmaltzy at times when I say this stuff, but I genuinely mean it. For everyone who's been watching me, again, I'm doing this for fun, but it does help. It does help motivate me that somebody's actually out there watching all this. But anyhow, lovey-dovey schmaltzy stuff aside, thanks for watching. I'm just going to we'll finish this up with the music. And I'll see you in the next video. I've got I've got issue 18 of Build Ecto 1, so the videos for that will be coming soon.